One of my favorite things to talk about is baseball. I could talk about it all day long. And there is an All-Star game coming up on July 11th in Seattle, Washington. And the AL is taking on the NL, and I'm going to try to predict the roster. So here's how it kind of works as a breakdown. There's 32 players on each roster, and you have to have 20 positional players, 7 starting pitchers, and 5 relievers. That's all the qualifications you get. Oh, and every team has to be represented. That's all you get. Okay, so I can customize this any way I want to. So we're going to see how close I can get. I'm probably going to do this a couple times before July 11th and see how close I can get. There have not been any fan returns yet where we see who's leading the votes for each position, because the poll's only been open for about a week or so. So we're gonna do this off rip and see what we can get. So we're starting with the American League in this video, and then the next video, so far for part 2, is going to be the National League. So this is American League. So at first base, I have the starter is going to be Yandy Diaz of the Rays, and Vladimir Guerrero Jr. of the Blue Jays is going to be a reserve. Marcus Semien of the Rangers is starting. He's the only second baseman I have. For third base, Matt Chapman of the Blue Jays is starting, with Rafael Devers of the Red Sox and Jose Ramirez of the Guardians as reserved. Corey Seager is starting for the Rangers, with Bo Bichette as a reserve. For catcher, I have Adley Rutschman. I think he can win the fan vote at the Orioles. He is an electric player. I think Jonah Hines should be an All-Star at the Rangers, and Salvador Perez, the lone representative for the Kansas City Royals. For the outfield, starting Aaron Judge of the Yankees, duh. Mike Trout of the Angels, duh. And Yordan Alvarez, I think, should be a starter for the Astros. For reserves, for outfield, I got Randy Rosarina of the Rays, Adolfo Garcia of the Rangers, Julio Rodriguez of the Mariners. Now, he has not been playing super hot. He's kind of a sophomore slump, but the game's in Seattle, okay? They're not gonna have Julio Rodriguez, okay? The MLB picked the reserves, and they be missing money, like millions upon millions of dollars, not having their superstar be an All-Star, like the biggest name as an All-Star. So Julio Rodriguez is gonna be there. Esteury Ruiz, the best player on the A's, on like the 12-win A's, they have to have a person here, so he's gonna be out there at the one representative for the A's. For designated hitter, Shohei Ohtani, the Angels, duh, and Jake Berger. Yeah, one represented the White Sox. He is going to be that guy. So for these starters, let's see, who do we, for starters, for the American League, I have Shane McClanahan of the Rays. I think they can be a second year being a starting pitcher. For reserves, I got Joe Ryan of the Twins, Kevin Gausman of the Blue Jays, Eduardo Rodriguez of the Tigers, Nathan Eovaldi of the Rangers, and Framber Valdez of the Astros, and Garrett Cole of the Yankees. Garrett Cole hasn't been too hot. I just kind of need another starting pitcher, and like I said, they be missing millions upon millions of dollars not having Garrett Cole as an All-Star. For the reliever, Phil Bautista of the Orioles, we got Emmanuel Clase, the saves leader for the Guardians, Carlos Estevez or whatever for the Angels. We got Jordan Romano at the Blue Jays, and Yiner Cano at the Orioles. I couldn't really think of a last person, so I just kind of stuck him in there. He had like a .6 ERA. He's great. Now, this is subject to change because injuries will happen. Like, we're still a month out from the All-Star game. And also, if a starting pitcher pitches like 2-3 days before the All-Star game, they'll be out of the All-Star game. So they won't pitch. So then they just fill that spot with someone else. Like last year, like Justin Verlander pitched like 2 days before. Matt Fried pitched 2 days before. So they're like, oh, I'm not going to be in the All-Star game. So then they just found random pitchers just to throw in there. Like, I think one year they had like a total of 81 All-Stars. And even though it's only supposed to be 32 from each team, there was like 40 first or something because so many people pulled out. So yeah, this is subject to change, but we're gonna see how close this gets, and then we're gonna reflect and check how close I get on this one. So far for part 2 for the National League. So this is part 2 of predicting who is going to be a starter in the All-Star game. The All-Star game is on July 11th in Seattle, Washington. Go check out part 1 if you want to see who I think is going to be on the roster for the American League, but visit the National League. So I'm going to have the position with who I think is going to win the fan vote and be the starters, followed by the reserves for each team. So let's get into it. As I said in part 1, the only restrictions I have is that there have to be 32 people on each roster, 20 positional players, 7 starting pitchers, and 5 relievers, and every team must be represented. From there, I can pick any player I want. So we're going to see how close I can get, how accurately I can get these rosters. Now, things are subject to change because we're still a month out. There's injuries. There's all kinds of stuff that could happen. So we're going to see how close we can get. So, first base. starting first baseman in the National League are going to be Freddie Freeman of the Dodgers. And then I have Pete Alonso as a reserve from the Mets, Paul Goldschmidt at the Cardinals, and Matt Olson at the Braves. I got 4 first basemen. Luis Arraez, almost batting 400, is representing the Marlins at second base, going to be a starting one there. He's the only second baseman I have. At third base, I think Manny Machado is going to be the starting third baseman. They haven't been too terribly hot, but it's money, okay? It comes down to money at the end of the day. Speaking of money, Nolan Arenado hasn't been playing the hottest, but he's going to make it because, money. And I think Ryan McMahon of the Rockies deserved to be an All-Star. Now, I don't think he'd get in, but I think he deserved to get in. Just like I kind of had a pick in the first one where I had Jonah Heim as a reserve. He might not get in because he's not the most popular, but I think based off his play, he should get in. For shortstop, Francisco Lindor, the only shortstop I have for the Mets, he's starting. For catcher, Sean Murphy is going to be the starting catcher with Francisco Alvarez of the Mets. Put him in the All-Star game. This would be a fun pick. This would be very fun. Starting in the outfield, we got Ronald Acuna Jr., duh. Mookie Betts of the Dodgers, duh. And Corbin Carroll of the Diamondbacks. Put Corbin Carroll in the All-Star game. Let's go. Also, as a result, I got Lourdes Gurriel Jr., the Diamondbacks. We got Juan Soto, the Padres. Fernando Tatis Jr., the Padres as well. Okay, so 2 Padres. We'll see how this one goes. I know everyone's been nagging on Fernando Tatis Jr., but he's been playing good. And, again, money. The MLB would be losing millions of dollars not having Fernando Tatis Jr. in Seattle. For designated hitter, give the start to Andrew McCutchen. I love Andrew McCutchen. He's back on the Pirates. It'd be really cool like how they put Pujols in the All-Star game last year. Give Andrew McCutchen the start. That'd be amazing. But also, as reserves, I got Jose Soler of the Marlins and Bryce Harper of the Phillies. For the starters, who do I have starting the All-Star game? This is biasness, okay? I'm a Cubs fan, so of course I'm going with Marcus Stroman to start the All-Star game. It's probably never going to happen, but start Marcus Stroman in the All-Star game. For reserves, I got Justin Steele of the Cubs. Yeah, those two at the top of the rotation. Cubs fan bias. Matt Scherzer here of the Mets. Zach Gallen of the Diamondbacks. Spencer Strider of the Braves. Clayton Kershaw of the Dodgers. And Mitch Keller of the Pirates. For our relievers, we need 5 of these guys. We got David Bednar of the Pirates. We got Camille Doval of the Giants. Alexis Diaz of the Reds. Kyle Finnegan of the Nationals, and Devin Williams of the Brewers. Okay, we just needed to throw people in here. Alexis Diaz, only one from the Reds, and Kyle Finnegan from the Nationals. I had no clue. There's no one good on that Nationals team. For the A's, they have less wins than the Nationals, but for the A's, you have Esther Ruiz or Brent Rooker are 2 people you could go with to be in this All-Star game. For the Nationals, I have no clue who you could go with. Maybe what's Josiah Gray might get in. I just found out that one. Josiah Gray might get be a starting pitcher, but they're only going to have one person. It's not good. So I just threw their saves leader in the bullpen, and then Devin Williams is just kind of here, okay? So, we'll see how close this roster is, and we'll check up on this, and hopefully I go 32 for 32, but that'd be amazing. So we'll see.